Can you imagine spending 9 figures just to buy a car? To put this in perspective, you can buy a super yacht with that same amount and still have some change left for a solid and pricey car. Just to give you an example, back in 2018, the most money ever spent on a car was about $70 million. It was a Ferrari 250 GTO from 1963. That same year, the record for the most money ever paid for a car at auction was set at $48.4 million, also for a Ferrari GTO from 1962. But now, it seems a 1956 Mercedes-Benz has broken the previous record for the most expensive car ever sold. Wondering who made the purchase? Stay tuned and find out. There are a few factors that contribute to the high pricing of well-known antique cars. Naturally, rarity is the primary consideration. A typical Volkswagen Beetle will never reach more than $1 million, but a one-of-a-kind Mercedes-Benz or Ferrari? At auction, they are almost certain to fetch 7 or 8 figures. Pedigree comes next. A unique race car with a thorough history will attract more attention and, as a result, command a greater price than an unknown vehicle, especially if its racing resume boasts illustrious drivers or historic victories. Last but not least, it really comes down to quality and creativity. Is the car entirely original, perhaps except for the paint or the upholstery? Do the chassis, gearbox, and engine have matching numbers? Of course, other elements affect the car's worth as well, but these are the ones that have the greatest impact. When it comes to pricey antique automobiles, there are other car brands, and then there are Ferrari expensive classic cars. So when RM Sotheby's, the world's leading classic car auction house, sold the Ferrari 250 GTO to the world record tune of $48.4 million in 2018, it was a pleasant but conceivable prospect. The car certainly has the pedigree. It was the third GTO ever constructed out of a total of a limited 39. It had competed in numerous races all over the world and took home many victories. These victories include class victories at the 1963 and 64 Targa Florio, as well as the 1962 Italian GT Championship. But 39 built pieces of a car cannot be compared to only 2 built pieces. For many years, Mercedes-Benz had only 2 pieces of the 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupes, displaying one of them in its Bad Constant Museum and keeping the other one in its auto vaults. Of all the cars we thought we would see on the market, many people didn't see this coming. However, Mercedes had other plans in mind, it seemed. They must have had a good chuckle when the world was debating the next most likely contender for the most expensive car. Ferrari was ranked as being the most likely car manufactured to sell a car for over $100 million mark. Of course, the top brand like Mercedes was a close contender, as it had previously made several record-breaking sales. In 2013, the Bonhams auction house sold a 1954 Mercedes-Benz W196 for $29.6 million, breaking the previous record for the brand. The sale almost single-handedly gave rise to a startling 60% increase in the Hagerty Price Guide Index of high-end collectible cars. Most of the 1930s and 1950s Mercedes-Benz racing cars are uncommon, and the majority of them are still in the factory's possession. Putting any of them on the market any time would result in high demand. The demand blasted to outer space when they put up one of the 2 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupes for sale. The exclusive auction was held at the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Stuttgart, Germany, with the infamous RM Sotheby's acting as the sales broker of the transactions. Bidders in attendance were screened by Mercedes-Benz, and the record-breaking car was the only lot up for grabs. It certainly deserved to be center stage, as the antique automobile was famed for its engineering, design, and speed. The car stunningly broke all previous records for the world's costliest vehicles and was sold for a staggering 135 million euros. That equals about $142,769,250, vastly outshining the Ferrari GTO by more than $95 million. The winning bidder was a private collector whose identity was not made public by RM Sotheby's. The vehicle was named after Rudolf Uhlenhaut, the vehicle's main engineer and creator who oversaw passenger car development. Rudolf Uhlenhaut, Mercedes Racing Benz's director at the time, designed the 2 street-legal 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupes and gave them his name as part of a motorsports assault. The vehicle has a 3.0-liter engine that produces 310 horsepower. It was the fastest closed-roof car at the time. According to Mercedes-Benz, only a few people have ever driven the car. And although it could reach speeds up to 286 kilometers an hour, it didn't take part in any races. Given that it has never really competed in a race, why did this automobile reach such an absurd price? Understand the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, its racing history, and the 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe requires a few explanations. The two Uhlenhaut Coupes were actually built on a chassis that supported the company's contemporary W196 track vehicle, despite having a striking similarity to the renowned Goodwood sports car of the 1950s. Mercedes-Benz was ruled in the post-war period of racing, much like it controlled the pre-war era before the horrific accident in Le Mans, with various vehicles, including the W25, W125, and W165. It achieved success in both Grand Prix racing and world speed record attempts before the start of World War II. The vehicles were among the fastest in the world at the time and became famously known as Silver Arrows. The moniker was a result of unverified claims that one of the vehicle's weight was reduced to meet the legal limit by removing paint and exposing bare metal below. The 2.5-liter supercharged straight-8 engine that powers the W196 chassis was built specifically for racing and produces 257 horsepower. Thanks to cutting-edge fuel injection technology, it possessed a significant advantage over its competitors. The W196S 300 SLR, which features 2 seats and an expanded and more potent engine, is a further development of the W196 chassis. In 1955, Sterling Moss and co-driver Dennis Jackinson won the Mille Miglia road race in Italy in a Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR at an average speed of nearly 98 miles per hour. However, following the tragic collision in the Le Mans endurance race, the brand withdrew from racing. The Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR collided with another car, an Austin Haley, flew into the stands and killed over 80 spectators, leaving hundreds injured. Following the catastrophic event that year, Mercedes-Benz promptly halted all racing endeavors and discontinued the 300 SLR. 9 300 SLRs were ultimately produced by Mercedes-Benz, with 2 being set aside by Rudolf Uhlenhaut, who was the company's head of design at the time. These 2 vehicles were intended to be constructed as street-legal automobiles, with one serving as Uhlenhaut's personal vehicle. According to Peter Haynes, Marketing and Communications Director at RM Sosby EMEA, this is sort of the Mona Lisa of the car world. Just like it's difficult to think of a picture that would be more precious than the Mona Lisa, it's very difficult for anyone to fathom any other car having a value that would exceed this. In further remarks, he said, "I don't think anyone really did actually imagine that Mercedes would sell one of them." People have also been curious about what Mercedes would do with the sale of the vehicle. The organization generates several billions in revenue annually, and surely they aren't intending to add the profits from the car to that. The profit from the sale of the startling expensive vehicle is expected to generate money, an endowment to finance new charitable projects from Mercedes-Benz. A not-for-profit organization, under the supervision of the firm Mercedes-Benz Fund, will be dedicated to offering educational scholarships for courses in sustainability, as well as science, technology, and engineering. According to Marcus Briet-Schwartz, head of Mercedes-Benz's corporate heritage division, the private collector who purchased the vehicle promised to make it available for public inspection on exceptional occasions. The Mercedes-Benz Museum will also continue to display the company's second prototype of the car. According to reports, the sale may increase the value of other high-end vehicles, such as the Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic, to 9 figures. The best specimen of these automobiles now sell for prices that are comparable to some of the best works of art from the 20th century, which really highlights how much the collector car market has developed over the previous 10 years. And there you have it. Now you know all about the most expensive car ever sold in auction. At a price over its weight in gold, do you think this vehicle is worth it? Let us know in the comments. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.